Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today is March 22nd, 2021, and today is Monday morning. So welcome back, everybody, and looking at the highlights of the day. We're looking at the Turkish Lira falling sharply after Prime Minister Erdogan lets go of his central bank head. Now, looking at the economic events of the day, just one event scheduled at 3 p.m. South African time out of the United States. Chairman Powell, who's the Fed chairman, will be speaking at that time. Now, looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, dollar gains versus the major pairs as the market takes a rotation in the indices, the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq both sell off. Now, looking at commodities, both the gold and oil retrace. And looking at stocks, ironically, Facebook actually jumps as the market retraced. And lastly, Bitcoin continues to trade sideways. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to first take a look at the Turkish Lira. As you can see down here, it is in play. We're looking at a weekly chart. Okay, this is why I want to look at this, because this is really significant. We have a double top at this 846. This news event happening today as Erdogan lets go of his central bank head. And you could see that. Look at that massive gap. Okay, and looking at the Turkish Lira plummet from 722 to 845. That's a double top. Okay, now it does look like it's having a hard time filling in this gap. It may not fill in this gap. Okay, but I do expect it to be tremendous amount of volatility. As you can see right now, it dipped all the way down to 765 from its high of 845. Now this previous move, okay, let's look at a daily chart. Okay, this previous move of 7.76 is a supportish area. Okay, now it does look like it did not break that with too much gusto. Okay, but just be careful if you're going to be trading this, because it's going to have a lot of whipsaw kind of environment, as you can see here right now, as this is just a green bar as it capitulated down here at this 769. It may fulfill and filling in the gap. Okay, eventually it normally does. Okay, when we look at a weekly chart, we saw that happen once before. Okay, when we had this back in 2018, and then in October, where it went to new lows for the year. Okay, so this may be a positive news for Turkey as it looks to revamp its currency. Now, looking at the Euro USD versus the dollar, just trading on the bottom of the range, the dollar getting stronger. If we look at the GBP USD, also trading at that bottom range of 38-ish level, that mid level of 38.50, but it's at the bottom of the range, okay, for all intents and purposes. Now, looking at gold, all right, we are also looking like we're tapering off from our nice little trend line as we're breaking it. Okay, with some gusto at 1731. Okay, so all intents and purposes, I think we're going to be trading sideways here. 754 is going to be the high, and then 1700 is going to be the low there. Now, looking at oil, okay, also retracing at 61.12 right now, as this has really made its way down. Now, looking at the Dow Jones, okay, this is really very important as we hit all-time highs last week at 33,000. We've retraced over 500 points, 500 to 600 points, okay, at 32,415. Okay, this is really healthy, okay, from a perspective of the markets, because this is really telling us that this is making a correction after it's gone from 31,100 about a couple of weeks ago to where we are right now. Now, looking at the Nasdaq, okay, actually this is the JSC. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Okay, the Nasdaq was really the weaker one, okay, as it plummeted below. Okay, and it's not going further. I would have expected it to sell further here in this move. It didn't, okay, which means that it might not be in play as much as it was before. Now, looking at Facebook, okay, Facebook actually carried the market, or carried itself rather, to 287 at that top of that range. Question is whether or not it could lift the rest of the market. Now, as we look at the New York Stock Exchange stocks like the JP Morgans, it did retrace a little bit, okay? Alcoa also retraced a little bit, okay? But nothing massive. Nothing is carrying the market. Nothing is trading before the market. So everything is in tandem. It's a little bit really hard to say of a potential entry right here as the markets are consolidated in this area. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin is going to break out higher. The question is when. And the reason I say it's going to break out higher is because the markets are making that rotation once again. Okay, you saw the retracement is not that aggressive. So if the retracement is not that aggressive, the only time, okay, that we're going to actually correct ourselves is when we break out. Okay, which means that basically I probably didn't communicate that well enough. So let's start that again. If we didn't retrace when the rest of the market retraced, that shows some relative strength, okay, for Bitcoin. So when the market does turn around, I do expect Bitcoin to be the first one to carry us forward. Now, it might not do that because it might not be in play, okay, which is something to consider. So I'm just looking at it to see if it does break above the 58,500-ish level and with some volume, and that would tell me that it's getting stronger and moving higher, okay? But without that, let's just hold off for now. As we look at the rest of the markets, looking at Microsoft selling down, okay, selling in with consistency with the Nasdaq, okay? So the Nasdaq and the stocks are both weak, okay? Not one is stronger than the other. That's when I look for that divergence. When I see that the stocks are going forward or the markets are going before the stocks, that's when the key in is to let us know, okay, something is happening here, something's rotating here. But, you know, ultimately this is classic trading where the indices go down, the dollar goes up, okay, and there's profit taking in gold. So that's the environment we're in right now, but that may break later this week as things come out. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.